Why?
What
Hold
happened?
on. Why? It says LinkedIn not available. Why is not available? It says
Why
we are
is
live
that?
recording. Okay. All right.
Okay.
So we're live on at least two platforms from three. And I'm super duper excited to be live here because we have received some amazing feedback from all of you guys uh, that have watched it. So today actually is a unique episode in a way that we are formally in two different countries and recording from. So why don't you
We actually
talk
have the
about
same
why
background.
don't you talk about what you've accomplished in the last uh, 2 3 weeks that you've been in India, Ashi?
It's been fun actually. I thought that I'll be like going here and there, but I realized that after living in UK for like 2 years now, I've become a too homely of a person that I don't want to go anywhere. I want everything delivered to my doorstep, and India makes it really, really convenient to do that. So
And
my
food.
achievement is that.
And food.
And food is like I've been ordering like every second day, and I have like a checklist that okay, I want to eat momos, I want to eat pizza, I want to eat this, I want to eat that, and I've ordered like 90% of it. So by the time I come in the UK again, I'll be done with my list, so I'll be happy that at least I went to India and I ate everything that I could.
Interesting. For those of you who don't know, I've actually asked Ashi to bring some food, and we will basically I will let you know what we bring for food when we come next, because yes,
Yes,
there is going to be some food in our near future. So
a lot of
I'm
food.
hoping that some people from our team, I've given everybody a link, so I'm asking them to come and clap while we are doing this so that we get constant motivation, like we've heard from so many of you in the last couple of weeks that you loved the episode. So one of the episodes that you guys loved was 22 immutable laws of e-commerce. So what we decided was, let's do another episode. This time we will call it 23 mistakes I see DTC founders make every day. And these are most important things to keep in mind, and yet they're the most common mistakes they make. And I cannot stress the importance enough of these. So welcome officially to the episode
Six.
6 of season
Yeah.
1, which is kind of in Hindi, we have a saying that says "derai durustai." So in English, I'm assuming not a literal
Better
but a
late than
figurative.
never.
Exactly. Transition. I was about to ask you that. It is better late than never. But yes, so that's probably what it is like. So yes,
Yes.
better late than never. And with that being said, let's get started. I will
Yes.
briefly start with why is it important that you pay attention to this episode, because let's say you're spending $5,000 on your Facebook ad account every month. And or you could be spending $50,000, or you could be spending $500,000. That doesn't matter. But when someone comes to your site, there's 100 people that came in, probably two, three, if you're good, 4 or 5 people made that purchase, place that order, sign up for that email list. So you have a specific conversion rate. Now, the things I'm going to talk about, the things you're about to hear, will actually help you improve that conversion rate. So now
That-
imagine this: from 100 people, your AOV being $100 and a 3% conversion rate, you sold 3 items. That's $300 in revenue. By
right.
improving your conversion rate by just 1%, so from 3 to 4, 1% of your visitor rate, you are suddenly increasing your bottom line by 25%. Now, instead of $300, you're earning $400. So, while this may seem like pointless 1% change, but it's a 25% change in revenue. And that is why you should pay attention to this episode. Now, without further ado, much further ado, I think that's the English phrase.
Yes.
Let's get started. So, Ashi, do you want to start with the first item today, and go over what we
Yes.
want to talk about?
Let's go one by one so that we don't go off track like we usually do.
So, we'll go with
But
numbers, specific
we
numbers
will
today.
go with numbers. So we will
Awesome.
mention mistake number one. That is this. Okay.
Okay,
So let's
I
start
agree.
with the common mistakes that everyone, like we see around a lot. And the saddest part is most of the brand owners don't even know that they're mistakes, and they're not doing it intentionally. So that's the saddest part, I feel. So this podcast is for them so that they'll hear, they listen, and they improve their conversion rates without any agency or anyone getting involved in their business.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
In fact, yeah, that's important to note. Most of these changes we are talking about can be literally done within a few minutes or a couple of hours at best. So you don't really need
Yes.
a big enough team to do this.
And it's just like more about thinking what logically your customer would want. It's not about rocket science, it's not about too much of coding, it's about what customer wants to see on your website, and that's essentially what conversion rate is. Okay, so let's get started. Mistake number one: the non-responsive logo. Go on.
Okay, so essentially this is for the mobile product display page, but I cannot tell you the number of times I've seen a product page where the logo is literally stuck in the middle of the page and it's neither moving left nor right. It kind of sometimes takes over the navigation hamburger icon as well. And that is annoying. So if you do not have a responsive logo, generally Shopify does that by default. But please, for the love of God, go take a look at the logo in a few different browsers. And especially, and repeat, especially in devices like this. Do you know why? Because this particular device has the narrowest display in the most modern devices. That's a Samsung Galaxy Z Fold Z4. So I've had a Samsung S21 Ultra, and it does appear fine sometimes there, but on this device, it's a pain to watch. So if you do not have a responsive logo, please be sure that you talk to your web developer. It'll probably take them a minute, but go ahead and make sure that the logo is responsive. You want to go to the second one, or should I
Yeah,
go?
okay. Yeah, you go to the second one, then we can talk.
Okay. So the second one, navigation bar. Here is one of the biggest mistakes I have seen most companies make. In fact, not just startups or not just even slightly successful companies. I have seen
Right.
this in so many big brands also. And the mistake is you treat every item in your navigation as if it's the same importance. So what I would see is shop, about us, contact us, FAQ, and then you probably got some promotion
Everything
running
on the same
in the
level.
mountains or in the hills or whatever that is. Now, here's the problem. When I'm coming to your site as a first time visitor, I see those five things and I'm like, hey, these are all equally important. So I
Right.
might go to one or the other and then get confused. Why do you want the people to come to your site? You want them to buy. So why not
Yes.
just offer something to buy? So what do you, let's say, recommend, Ashi? Why don't you kind of think, what would you expect to see on that page?
So I would prefer that if am going for a shopping, I'm just going to see the collection. I'm not interested in the brand story. I'm not interested in what you do. I'm not interested in your, in fact, your history or whatever. If I'm going to a e-commerce store to buy, my objective is to buy. So I go, I see shop now, I click there, and most probably, like 90% of the time, I don't know what I'm buying for. So I'll go directly to the shop all section because there I can see everything that you have. So I don't
Interesting.
want people
So,
to confuse me on the product range. Okay, these have names, these have complicated names, this is something related to your industry. Probably I don't know about it, but I
okay.
am interested in buying.
So while we are at it, I want to remind you that's one strike. You actually jumped to the next one.
Yes,
You jumped.
sorry.
So well, let's step back for a minute. So what we were trying to say here was that while you have the navigation bar and shop all is important, definitely have a shop
Yeah,
all in every navigation bar. Your navigation bar should actually highlight the top categories of your products. What do you sell really? I mean, let's say you're selling sunglasses and prescription glasses, and you're selling accessories that go with sunglasses. Then have those three as the categories: cases, sunglasses, prescription glasses. Now people suddenly, they don't have to click on a couple of different navigation menus to figure out what do you do. Just do the product there. Everything else, Shopify gives you the option to have multiple menu layers. As far
yes.
as company, about, FAQ, I don't understand what's the motivation behind dumping your information in their faces. Look, I have done and I have seen this research firsthand. I have heard those interviews myself, and I will be very happy to share those with you if you want. Let me know in the comments. But I've seen that firsthand. People say, if I want to know about the company, I'll go to the footer and look at the about us page. I don't have to wait for that information on the top navigation. So get rid of everything else on the navigation. Just have your core product categories, because when someone comes first time, you want to show them what are you for, who you are, what you're selling. And that's pretty much what you all you should care about as far as navigation is concerned. So the
They should think
mistake
like
is, yeah,
customers
go.
as horses. Like, just don't let them look anywhere. Just let them focus straight towards the part that they are there to look.
I have to clarify this thing here, by the way, for all of my non-Indian friends here. Uh, in India, and what Ashi is referring to is that is a context that only people from India will understand. So, as my fellow Indian sitting in India, I don't blame her. So, what she's referring to is, in India, when a groom, when you get married, the groom generally goes on a horse, and those that horse is kind
You
of
can
decorated
dance
very
around
well.
the
So
horses.
the one of the decorations is there is this blinders on both sides of the horse's eyes. Now I don't know if that's just for decoration purposes, or I don't know if that's for the I don't know, just so the
No,
horse
it's
cannot see left or right
also
and just keep looking front, because there is a mayhem there. If you've ever seen a wedding procession in India, you would see what I mean. There are drunk people dancing at the loudest of the music being played live in real time, and therefore the horse needs to be focused. So what Ashi is
right.
referring to is that. So essentially what she's saying is, get I mean, don't treat your customers like horses, but yes, give them the focus, give them the one pointed direction in what you're selling. So that's the item number 2. Item
Yes.
number 3, Ashi,
Item
go ahead.
number three, the item number three, the most common mistake that DTC brand owners make is the hero section. So the hero section, they just put everything that they feel is too important for their company. I don't think that should be the case. What do you think?
Yes. So basically, what we've seen, in fact, we elaborate on this. What we've seen is, you talk about, let's say, we and I've shared a lot of these examples from the companies that we work with. We are producing these products in the world's best facilities. I'm just giving you a random example here. No, that's not what someone cares about. What is in it for them? What's your
Right.
value proposition? So your hero, the main header hero image should contain either your best selling products, your
Yes.
latest current promotions, or
Uh-huh.
the value that's in it for them. And if you take an example, let's say if you went to a website, and I will give you a classical example right now. I'm looking at this website called judy.co while I'm talking. The headline says, emergency prep finally made easy. Clear value proposition. And then the direct action: shop or signature waterproof go bag with 50 plus survival supplies. Now I'm going to look at another example. I'm not going to narrate what it is. I'm not even going to share the screen, but it would say, not your one size fits all dash 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 something, what they're selling. I'm not referring to the website, but okay, not your one size fits all, I understand.
What?
But then what does that mean? Shop custom, shop your size, how does that work? So it's a problem that is so confusing that you want to give more clarification. So add text, add explanations, or worst case scenario, shop best sellers. That's the best way to essentially promote your product and promote the category that you want to promote. So that's the third item. Fourth item.
Right. Fourth item is brag bar. So you either not having the brag bar or either having the wrong brag bar. So when I say wrong brag bar is putting each and every logo that you are like allowed to use in your brag bar and they're just like moving around without no context whatsoever. So that should not happen with your website.
So the context Ashi refers to here is typically your source of traffic and the kind of audience that's
Yes.
coming to the brag bar. So let's take an example. Let's say you sell baby clothing products. So you sell products for babies all the way from newborns to 10-year-olds. Now, who are your typical customers and where they are coming from? So there could be I like to say Gen Z,
Moms?
but let's say millennial mom, or even Gen Z mom to some extent, would
Yes.
most likely see your product on Instagram or TikTok for the first time.
Right.
A grandmom that wants to probably buy something for their grandkid, or an aunt wanting to buy a present, would probably come from Facebook. So what they're
Right.
expecting to see are two phenomenally different things. The most important being, do they want to see a brag bar containing the logo of Good Housekeeping, Town and Country, or they're looking at seeing Refinery
Cosmos.
29 or GQ or Vice? I don't know. What is the name, Ashi?
Cosmos. Cosmopolitan.
Cosmos, yeah, Cosmopolitan. So depending on where the user's coming from and who the audience is, your brag bar should kind of relate to those brands, because more than likely someone, and this is not a negative connotation in any manner whatsoever, it is just a positive ideology saying, okay, Gen Z would more likely be reading, if they are buying, let's say, a product like
Right.
that, they're more than likely to be coming from TikTok, and they're more than likely to be aware of the ways of a Cosmopolitan or a Refinery
Yes.
29 than they would be over a CNN or a, I don't know, New York Times for that matter. Maybe, I'm not saying they don't, but I'm just giving a context here. So
Yeah,
yes,
it's more
you have to be mindful of that
influential.
fact. Yeah.
The fact is that it's more influential. So when you're making a brag bar, just be sure to include each and every type of your ideal customer. So there is something from everyone in that brag bar so that it instantly catches their attention and they feel privileged to be shopping there.
Okay.
Okay,
Awesome. What's next? I will pull the.
fifth one.
Yeah. Very interesting. So if you ever, and this is a title says categories and subcategories on the homepage. One of the biggest mistakes I've seen brands make is they have all these different type of products that they've listed on the homepage with zero to no context of how they relate to the overall hierarchy on the store. If you go
Yeah.
to Amazon, there are two things you will notice. One, you will notice big and small boxes. Every
Boxes.
box will have a specific type of a selling feature. It'll be a category or it'll be a collection. So that's one. But also more important is every one of those categories would have an adjective next to it. It will not just be bags or glasses or tripods. No, it will be tripods people loved, or tripods we think you will like, or boxes we think, or boxes based on your search history. So they not only mention the category, they also mention the specific reason why they are showing it to you and why you should care.
And this is
So
also important fact that when we are talking about all the mistakes, the one overall mistake is that you talk about yourself and not the customer. So what Amazon does, it's talking about you. Okay, you chose this, that's why we are showing you this ad. You chose this, that's why we are showing you this category. So it's the customer feels okay, yeah, maybe I might like this because I based on my past searches, I might be needing this. So it makes the customer feel like okay, yeah, I have to buy rather than customer thinking okay they are selling me.
so true, so true. So one, definitely highlight every category and subcategory that you want to sell products in on your homepage. Generally people do not do that. There are best sellers, there are new arrivals, I understand that, but still include all the categories because you want your homepage to act like a doorway to an actual store.
And
So
like
the display should
all
show the categories. Go ahead.
all the brands that we have seen, all the brands that I usually shop with, most of them always have a horizontal and vertical category. So why not present it to the customer itself? So consider an example of glasses. So when you're selling glasses, you have prescription glasses, you have polarized glasses, and you have sunglasses. Why not show them each and every category? Okay, this is the vertical that we are selling. This is the horizontal. It's our collection. It's our print. It's our new color. So why not highlight if a person wants to buy through color, they can see what colors are there in that category and they can see what categories fall in the vertical section. It makes it the customer easier to buy if they are buying through a matrix.
Agreed. Great. That's five categories done. Let's look at the
Yes.
next one. And this is important from a number of different factors. So
So
I'm
the
going to
sixth
go,
one,
I'll change it a little bit actually. So, one of the first things, not having a lead gen pop up, an email
right.
acquisition pop up. In a lot of stores, what I see is they have something in the footer. Yes, you do install Klaviyo. Yes, you do have a pop up, but a lot of these stores generally may not have it. Or if you do, you have a 10% or a 15% discount pop up. If you paid a little bit of attention, and I can, this particular hack will almost all immediately double your email acquisition if you made it interactive, if you made it more than just a discount. One, like I discussed about the categories and subcategories, add an adjective to it. For
Yeah.
example, it only makes sense to get 15% today. That's just an example. Don't just say claim 15%, but make it a sentence. More importantly, and even before you do that, how about you make it in two stages? Get a micro commitment first, such as if you're selling protein powders, for example, someone landed on the page, the first pop-up they see is, are you vegan? Yes or no. That's it. Now this is an emotional connection. It's not about finding out if they're vegan or not, but yes, that's the agenda because you're trying to collect the first party data. Are you
Right.
vegan? They will have no option but to say yes or no. I mean, they can of course cross it out, but yes or no. The moment they say that, great, then you will love our collection here. Why don't you claim 20% discount here? Now
Right there
suddenly
and then you
you have,
prompt them to buy.
exactly, you're prompting the right there and then. And more importantly, you've made it more interesting. If you
Yeah.
cannot make it more interesting, make it interactive. Get a scratch card app, get a spin to win app. Klaviyo is introducing a spin to win very shortly. So get a spin to win. We have seen 10, 12, 15% conversions on spin to win if you play it right. One of the
Right.
greatest examples that I've seen is on Halara website. They do the spin to win with actually guaranteed gift. Every single person is guaranteed a gift, and therefore you know that you're going to win something or the other. So why not do something like that? Because a normal pop-up could lead to 2%, 3% conversions at
Yes.
best.
Interactive gaming
Imagine
can get
doubling
you
that conversion.
10%.
Exactly. So that's important. You could possibly, and I'm just saying possibly, this will need a little bit of trying, but can you target it based on traffic source, where the user came from? Based on that information, you could probably end up getting a slightly better results. But again, that's a subjective secondary element.
Yeah, because if you think about it, when a person is coming from TikTok, he has probably seen that the product has gone viral on TikTok. That's the reason he's coming to your website. So the language could be, this is the viral product that has been going viral on TikTok. Whereas when a person is coming from Facebook, there might be a notion in his mind saying that, okay, I've seen this product a lot of times on my ads. Let's see and discover what it is. So then there he is needing more information, but on TikTok, he's needing more virality.
Exactly. So yeah, that's important. Now let's look at one more item before we go into the next. So I'm going to jump back into item number 6 here, which is once they have given you that email address, two things by mistake. I'll cover both of these mistakes in the same breath. So
Right.
first one, do not, for the love of God, deliver that coupon code on the pop-up. Why do you not want them to open your email? Why do you think that if you give them the pop-up discount code they will buy right away? No, they won't. The problem is you are now generally giving them a reason not to want to open your emails. So if they
Right.
do not order, your open rates have suddenly gone down. Why do you want to get into that situation? Tell them, hey, the email has been sent, go grab a discount code from the email. Step number one. Step number two, and I cannot stress this enough. Why can't you simply change the settings on your Klaviyo list to single opt-in only? There is no need
Right.
to do double opt-ins. Here is a hack. You want to get better engagement in your welcome email. Say, hey, we noticed you wanted to get a discount code. We wanted to confirm your email. Click here and claim a discount code. It will automatically be applied to your card. You can include the automated discount code application on that button. Do that,
Yeah.
move them to your site, and that's it. You got a click, you got an open. Suddenly, your email engagement is through the roof, and the prospect is automatically in your website with a discount pre-applied, moves them further down the funnel to make that purchase from you. So that's
Right.
very important.
See, I feel like the biggest mistake, like I would consider myself in that pool like 2 to 3 years ago when I didn't knew about email marketing, because we're not taught that way. So I also used to think that, okay, email marketing is dead. What if I am making my customer's job easy if I'm giving the code right there and then? But no, it's the other way around. If you have the email, you can convert the customers twice, thrice, 4 times, 5 times, and in fact, it's the biggest source of revenue for some brands. In fact,
Yes. Okay. So that's there. Now come to the next one, which is
the number eight mistake. The number
CTA
eight
on first scroll. Go ahead, Ashi.
the CTA on first scroll. So that's the mistake that I see, because most of the brands want to make their website look pretty good, like awesome animations, interactive. They have elements of design when you scroll and this and that. But the most important thing is they don't have a CTA on their first scroll. So when a person lands on their website, they see all the animations and everything, but they cannot, for love of God, find the CTA. What to do when I'm on the website? Do I scroll down? Do I go to a navigation? Do I click somewhere? But there's nowhere to click. So what to
And
do with that?
whether you like it or not, whether you believe it or not, people do need to be told what to do as many times as you can. So the CTA should actually be prominent, distinct, in a sharp contrast to everything on the page, and possibly a unique color that you don't use for anything else on your website. So that's kind of a important factor also. Okay, let's go to the number 9.
Oh, should I say it? Okay. So number nine is not prioritizing search app or researching search keywords for product ideas.
If you are as old as I am, or if you've seen Amazon evolve into what it has become today, I have shopped on Amazon in 98, 99, and I can tell you from first-hand experience how their search has evolved. It used to be a black button on the left top of their website. In fact, I'll show you the screenshots when we do the video post-production. But from there to a small box, to a bigger box, to the most important thing on the homepage, the top of the homepage is now the search. Do you know why that is? Because that is the source of unbelievably great amount of data. Get
Right.
two things on the search. One, get an app on Shopify store that basically automatically prompts the search into product recommendations or
Right.
category recommendations. Two, that stores this information so that you can then go back, look at the data that people are searching for. I cannot tell you how many different product ideas we have developed for our clients simply because we went in, looked at the search
Look
data on a
at the
monthly basis,
searches.
looked at what people are searching for. Are we selling that product? Are we selling that variation? Are we selling that color? And what do people want? And based on that, we have been able to come up with best selling product ideas. So search critical component. A lot of the brands think, oh, search is an afterthought. There is a search box because Shopify has it. Let's leave
Mhm.
it at that. People will search whatever they want. No, it's an important part of user experience, because most prospects, if you are making a bunch of these other mistakes like not having the categories, etc., will go to search to figure out what they want. And if your search has not been planned, you are in trouble.
And that's a very, very important source of research for your brand. In fact, when you
Yeah.
have that search category, you can use those keywords anywhere you like. So do you think a mom looking for my baby in red colored dress would not be interested in a print that is explicitly saying that it is in red in color? Of
Yeah.
course she will. So if you show her the relevant ad that she searched for, it will be like a child's play for them to go and buy. So it will be very, very convenient for them to buy if you just pick the keywords and use them in your advertising then.
Right. Now the next one. Next one is a slightly nuanced one in a way that it applies to brands where you have a number of different categories or subcategories. So let's say you're selling pet food. Now you have dog food, cat food, horse food, fish food, pig food, whatever. And then within the food, you have I don't know, protein rich, carb rich. I'm just thinking out
Yeah.
loud here. Or it could
About
be
the skin,
gluten
about the
free, or it
code.
could be allergenic, gluten, could be anything, right? Now when you are creating subcategories and you're creating these category pages, one, on the category page side, always have these category pages treated as a sales letter in and of itself.
Right.
It does not hurt to have some content relevant to the category page within the page. So you could have a couple of blogs about that category. Why not have a blog about the top dog foods based on science in that page, instead of your being waiting for the people to go to the blog? If they
Right.
clicked on a category page, they have already demonstrated intent. There are only two ways they would come to your category page: either by clicking on one of the things on your website, or from the search results. In either of those two cases, you can safely assume that they have purchase intent. Now, at this stage, if you're actually
Yes.
instigating that value by delivering that content, better. Next, even better, why not include a specific category specific offer right there and then, saying all dog food products sold between now and the next 3 days will get an extra 5% off, or get an
Of
extra
course.
cat food, or get an 20% product extra, or whatever that deal might be, but category specific deal. So if you treated that category page more than just displaying all the random products like Shopify does, I can guarantee you will see double the conversion rates from the category page alone. And before I forget, every subcategory, and I'm repeating this, there's no, I cannot stress this important enough, should have its own thumbnail on top of the category page. So if you're
Right.
selling, let's say, jewelry, within jewelry you're selling necklaces, within necklaces you're selling pearl necklace, gold necklace, diamond necklace, silver necklace, platinum necklace, have a thumbnail for each of those on the top. Those are your
Show
subcategories.
them what it is
Yes, you
because
can
most
list
of the people
products.
don't identify them.
Exactly. So yes, you can list the products. Yes, you can list the content, but also list the subcategory. Makes it easier for your prospects. Because see, there are only two reasons why people don't buy from your site. They either can't buy because they can't find the information properly, or they won't buy because they don't like what they see. It's psychology versus science. It's quality and quantity. So quantitative
Already.
and qualitative. So yeah, that's kind of how you look at it. So that's our number 10. Category and subcategory pages should be treated as doorway pages, as sales pages, and should be given the respect and the treatment that they deserve. So that's the 10th item.
Now I have a strike for you because you jumped to the next one. Because the
Did
11th
I?
one is not having this category specific content and deals or promotions or offers relevant to that category.
Yeah.
And now
Well,
we are
in
one
my
out.
defense, no, hold on. In my defense, I merged 10th and 11th. So technically, that number 10 was category and subcategory thumbnails, and number
Thumbnails.
11 was not having category specific content and deals. By the way, if you're, for example, listening to this on Spotify, then you should go to our YouTube, because we are going to edit this video and include
Yes.
actual thumbnails, not actual screenshots, and show
Actual
you actual
screenshot.
examples. But if you do want information, then basically my name at gozupees.com is my email address. So by all means reach out to me, and I will send you the information. So whether you
Right.
need the screenshot of these category pages, examples of thumbnails, or examples of how to create deals, I'll send you the PowerPoint slide that we use here. So that's
Yeah.
the context there, right? Okay.
Right. So
uh,
now let's go to number 12. So number 12 is not having a separate newsletter page on your website.
Yes, very important. If you're trying to get an email list, there are 12 different ways we have identified to collect emails from your site. One of the biggest or easiest ways is to have an actual newsletter page on your site. What do you
Right.
present on that newsletter page? Publish a weekly newsletter, publish a monthly newsletter for all I care. But having that page gives you standing in Google. Have it says you have a newsletter. So people don't just sign up for your email list thinking, oh, now I'm going to start getting deals. Now I'm going to start dumping coupon codes and discount codes and whatnot. No, have a proper newsletter. In the age of AI, today it does not take more than 30 minutes to produce extreme in-depth article on chat gpt. Write
Right.
something of useful content, write valuable content, information content, educational content, inspirational content, could be anything, but write that as a newsletter every week. When someone clicks on your marketing email asking to unsubscribe, tell them, hey, that's okay, but we'll still keep you in our weekly or a monthly newsletter, so no more promotions for you. And that's the right context, because then they may come back to buy from you. So yes, have a newsletter page on your site, show some of your latest blogs or latest content there, and run the newsletter from there.
And also, one added advantage of having a newsletter is that it humanizes the branding. It doesn't hurt to have a human sitting there who's talking to people. So whenever I'm buying something, so I don't feel like, okay, I'm going to a shop and buying, and I have no relation, no context to whatsoever with the shop. Having a newsletter tells me that, okay, you're more than a direct to consumer brand. You're more than an e-commerce store. You're talking about what I'm buying. So that gives me additional information about my next purchase. So it doesn't have hurt to have a newsletter page on your website.
Exactly. Not only that, the content that you write for the newsletter, you can actually use that in your welcome flow, cart abandonment flow, etc.,
Right.
and double your conversion is there. That's outside the tip, by the way. That's outside these 23 tips. That's a
Yes.
something. Again, it's not a
Bonus tip.
mistake, but it's an added advantage or added benefit. Let's keep going.
The 13th mistake is using stock photography instead of real people and
Ooh.
images. Also, I'll add one more thing there, using AI generated photography. I agree AI is great. I agree it's doing great. It has great leaps and bounds. But professionals, marketers, people with a little bit of knowledge with AI can identify those images. So it just breaks their trust and it doesn't make them believe in your brand. So please have real people in the images so that people connect to your brand rather than just using stock photography. I agree it
Yeah.
looks beautiful, it looks like out of the world, but it doesn't serve the purpose that you're trying to do.
I will extrapolate that point a little bit. And I know I'm going to go a little bit of a tangent here, but if you're running any DTC brand or marketing a brand, you know how people feel about influencer content right now.
Right.
All they're talking about in 2025 as a trend is lo-fi content. Lo-fi content means take the camera into your face and shoot. Exactly the point with stock photography versus real people. Real photos don't look fresh, they don't look polished, they don't look professional. They are real photographs. But if you
Yeah.
start using stock photography, people realize that it's just a marketing gimmick and they develop blinders to it. So don't go there, don't do that.
And plus, like, it doesn't relate to your actual customers. Like, if you're athletic brands, no one is that fit. Whoever's buying that athletic leisure,
Well,
he's
I'd like to
not
think
that
I am.
fit.
when i
It
when i
doesn't look
when
like
I'm
that.
selling a gut supplement, I'm going to imagine I've got a healthy gut. But jokes apart, sorry.
Yes. So that's what my point is, that your actual customer wants to see real things there so that it can relate to themselves, not to people who are like supermodels and anyone else.
I
Moving
have to
on.
say this, by the way, Ashi. I am sorry I jumped the gun. I did the number 15 and number 16 ahead of time. So
See,
that
that's three
giving
strikes for
away
you.
the hold on, giving away the discount code on pop up we've covered, and having a double opt-in email list is covered. So let's go back to number 14, product
Yeah.
names. I
Okay.
was
So the
browsing
product.
this. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, and I'll talk about the specific names that I found.
Okay, so my in general point of view with product names is, please make me understand what your brand and what you are selling. Make me understand very easily. I don't want to hear your industry jargons. I don't want to hear random names associated with your series or collection. Just make me understand in simpler terms what are you selling, because I want to buy. I don't know your language. I don't know your industry, but I'm just interested in buying. So make it easy for me.
I think, I mean, so while it's a cult classic, one of the biggest companies or biggest brands I see making this mistake, because see, and I'm talking 1994, 95, 96. I think sometime around that time I was
Mhm.
exposed for the first time to the 501s, the Levi's 501 jeans. Now,
Yes.
at that time it was easier to relate to a brand because there were a limited number of choices. Today you have millions of, well, let's not extrapolate, hundreds of choices for any product that you're considering. If you start making names like this, which are completely randomized names, people won't be able to understand. Don't use those kind of complicated names. Ideally, have a value proposition within the product name if you can.
Right.
So for example, either the color or what it does. So let's say, I don't know, if you're making a concealer,
Let's take the
then
example of Julie.co.
yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, the Julie got they just mentioned earthquake survival kit. That's it. You don't need to
Yeah,
mention anything else.
now there is
That's
a value proposition and the product name, exactly, and they can call it the maximizer or the minima or the, I think, something like that. So they're basically variances, but it still
yes.
takes care of that name. So very important to keep the product name so that people can understand when they're looking at the navigation. They should be able to understand what there is. Keep going. Next one.
So mistake number
Number
15 we
17.
mentioned.
17.
Yes, we have to do number 17 is not customizing their opt out page. So that is when someone goes and they want to unsubscribe to your email list. So they go on an opt out page. So when they go on opt out page, you give them options, you give them variations. Okay, do you want to hear us from daily? Do you want to hear us from weekly? Do you want to hear monthly or probably only during the offers?
And this is where the newsletter comes in handy.
Yes, because when
So
you have a
yes,
newsletter it can be weekly or monthly and they're still in loop with you, so eventually just like one outside the blue that we do for our clients is that we do monthly digest and we make all the offers live for one day so that the person who is getting the monthly email gets all the offers and they don't feel left out.
in fact, one of our latest Gen Z plants came
Yes.
up with this email from, I think it was from Dollar Shave Club, and it's a very interesting email. And again, I will share it in the video when you will see that email. It was a very cute email on the opt out page. So the idea is, instead of letting them just go, why not offer them a discount? Well, we hate
Right.
goodbyes, but we thought a goodbye present is in order. So we hate to see you go, but take this 20% discount for whenever you come. It's yours for life. And then suddenly they may not leave at all. So if you make that conversation, the customizing of the opt out page, a friendly conversation, why would they leave? So be sure to have a customized opt out page. Next one relates to this, but it's about not having a manage preferences page. Once again, like Ashi was mentioning, by the way, you jumped the gun here. Like she was saying, weekly, monthly, daily, promotions only, non promotional. What customizations can you offer? You can offer them customizations based on your product categories. So
References
if
as well.
I have a child that's 10 years old, I don't want to see your newborn promotions. I don't want to see your baby girl promotions because I have a boy. So I can customize those preferences right on the update preferences page. This way, when you're sending out emails and you're tagging them in Klaviyo, you can exclude that segment. Imagine how solid your open rates are going to be, how happy your customers will be. Do you know one of the biggest factors that contributes to people about giving away their personal information is, yes, I will gladly give my personal information if they customize their marketing messages to my preferences. And that's
Right.
your golden ticket right there. So be bear this in mind and pay careful attention to this part. So that's number 18th. Number
18th.
19th.
Number 19th is not using dynamic product feeds in emails. So this is something that is very, very important because what if I'm buying the same product you're showing me in the dynamic feed? Why is it not customized? Why is it not dynamic? Because if I've bought the same product right now and I'm getting an email with the same product feed, why would I be interested in even going and looking at it? So dynamic product field gives you the feel and you can even customize it to the T. You can customize it to what they viewed last. You can customize it to what they added in cart. You can customize it to your recent offers because that's big. So if you're thinking of holiday season, why not add your best sellers? Why not add your maximum discounted products? So dynamic product fits gives you that opportunity to sell right and there in that email.
And in fact, I always tell our team, when you're creating an email and you're adding a dynamic product feed, don't just say you might also like. Make that also interactive. Make that interesting.
Yes.
So, for example, things selling like hotcakes this week. That's it. Why not? So that it's possible to do that, but have that dynamic product feed. So many emails I see that miss that opportunity. You start doing that for one email, and I guarantee, try doing this A/B test, and you will see the
Yes.
CTR through the roof. Because if you want to increase CTRs on your email, have the dynamic product feed. They don't like the product, they don't like the main message, they will go to the dynamic product feed and they'll find something that they like and they will click on it. So that's number 19 for you. Number
Yes.
20th, my turn now, right?
Okay.
Not collecting email phone number or phone numbers along with the emails in the pop-ups. Klaviyo allows to do that. Almost every system that you use to collect your emails will allow you to collect the phone number. Why
Yeah,
are you not doing SMS marketing unless prohibited by law? For example, Klaviyo does not take cannabis companies.
yeah.
Klaviyo does not allow cannabis companies to advertise on SMS. So that's a problem, and that's fine. But otherwise, have a SMS marketing program. Always use SMS. 96% open rates, 13 to 15% CTR. What's there to lose? Unbelievable returns. Why are you not collecting mobile phones? So that's the mistake number 20. Ashi, 21. What is the mistake number 21 that they're making?
21 is not having a mobile only tap to text pop up. So whenever I'm on my phone, I don't have the time to go and type my email and type my number. So why don't you give me the opportunity to just two taps and okay, I'm in, because most of the mobile phones these days have already autofill your emails, autofill your mobile. So it makes us more convenient and more in power. Even Instagram does it. If you're seeing anything on Instagram just allows you to click, and then and there your email and phone number is installed there. Let's make it easier for the customer.
There you go. So the two taps would typically mean they will see a pop-up. It would say tap to claim your discount. They tap once, it opens the SMS app on their phone directly. The message is pre-filled saying
Yes,
tap send to join and get your claim your discount. And they tap the second time, your system receives the
they're in.
message. They get the discount code. They're in. Nothing doing, no typing, no nothing required. So yes, very important.
And
Number
it's easier for
22.
you as well.
Yes, absolutely. Number 22.
Number 22 is not having an exit intent specific pop up on the product and collection page. So, what if a person is trying to leave your website? Why can't you just offer them something to just to stay? Because most of the time, people are like shock driven when they see up the prices and they don't want to buy. But if you give them a discount, that gives them a reason to stay.
Yeah, there is a 70% cart abandonment rate, right? Now, if they've
Right.
come to the product or the collections page, and as I said earlier, when they are on the product or the collections page, there are only two ways they've come there. Either clicked on something on your website or clicked on a search result. If they saw your product or collection page in search results, it means they searched for that specific product or category because of the
Right.
showing, or they actually demonstrated intent on the website. So the intent levels high. At this point, even if you have them in your email list, they try and exit, show them an exit intent pop up. At the risk of sounding sexist, and I'm not trying to be, one of the best things we have seen that works in this pop up, have an image of a customer service rep, preferably
Yes.
female, depending on your products, of course, but generally female reps work better than male reps for some reason. I don't know why, but we've seen almost 34% higher conversion rates on those numbers. So have a rep and have the name of the rep, that Jessica is waiting to
Waiting.
hear back, or Jessica is here to help. So why don't you call us, or why don't you chat with her, or
Yes.
why don't you,
Having
you
any
know,
troubles.
ask your question. And then suddenly they give you a question, get a customer service rep there, or send them an email. But there you go, you have your email address, so
So
definitely
that's
have
why
that
you
information.
handle the objections particularly. If you're not giving it a discount, ask them what's the trouble. Ask them why they are not buying.
Okay,
Okay.
so now we are at the 43-minute mark. It's been a long episode for our standards, but yes, I've
Yes.
enjoyed it. So now let's come to the last one, but it's not the least because it's going to be a long
It's
one.
a
I would
very important
imagine
one.
it might take us to, I'm not saying 60-minute mark, it'll be next 3 to 5 minutes. So yeah, pay
Yes.
attention to this now. I have seen every conceivable form of footer in my life.
Yes.
And I can guarantee, while there are exceptions and there are outliers everywhere, there need to be a minimum of 5 sections in your footer.
Right.
Please, and let me explain why. When someone comes to your website, one of the first things, and we've asked this question from shoppers actually doing surveys,
Yes.
where will you go if you can't find the information that you're looking for? Why? I'll go to the footer, of course. For everything that they want to go to the footer. And yet I cannot tell you the number of percentage of people that ignore the footer. Yes, they will implement some Shopify links and then have 5 or 6 links. They will have like 20 different type of logos for payments that they accept. Quite frankly, excuse
Doesn't
my
matter.
French, but no one gives a shit. Because when you're actually placing an order, the payment logos would make more sense there. On the
Yes.
footer, it looks more like a gimmick. So don't put them there, ignore, remove them from there. But on the footer, have these 5 sections. Number one, your company, Your company section would contain about page, story, the material you use, why your material is superior, history of your
History.
business, the future, your mission, vision, your blog, the jobs you're hiring for. Listen, none of these take more than an hour to produce with a reasonably decent AI system. And
Right.
yet they give you so much value, because if you're running a drop shipping store, even at that level, if you have these 6 or 7 elements there, use ChatGPT for assisting you to basically create a sexy enough story, and then suddenly you are now competing with the top of the line companies in the world, or in your category, of course, at least. So that's one.
See,
Second,
because of the
what?
trend being changing, people want to be connected to you. It's not that people don't want to be associated with the brand they're buying. They want to associate to you. They want to tag you in their stories. It's just like you're not allowing them to because they don't know about you. Why would they do that to you?
Exactly. Exactly. People are now buying more from authentic brands, and therefore it's
Right.
important to have your company story told. Second,
Of-
shop. Come on, if you're dumping so many links on your top navigation, why not at least have your shop links on the footer? Have your top categories under the shop section. Make it easy for them to find the products. If you have a dynamic navigation, if you have a JavaScript pull out and pull down menus on the top navigation, maybe they're having a trouble. Maybe they're on a mobile device. Maybe they don't know how to get to it. So at least give that information on the footer. Have your top categories listed in the footer. Increases your cross linking from Google search engine
Exactly.
optimization perspective, but makes it so easy for their prospects, because if they're looking at anything and find it under the shop link, your main product categories should always be listed in the shop section.
It makes it easier for them to shop because if you're going on a shop, you might be distracted with 10,000 things on the top. But by the time you have scrolled through the home page, you're pretty sure what you want to buy. And when you see all of them right together on one place, it makes you in charge of where you're going. So it's make them easier and convenient for them to just go buy and check out. Nothing else. So they don't give a
Exactly.
second chance there.
Next one.
Next one is work with us. So, work with us includes the partner with us, wholesale, retail, brand ambassadors, how a
Affiliate.
person, affiliates, how a person can be associated with you. Because it's not that only customers are associating with you, there are a lot of people you want in your business that will advocate for you. So, why not make it convenient for them as well? Because there's no other place for them on the website to go and look for. Footer is the only place that they go to.
Exactly. Number four.
Number four is support. So, shipping, FAQs, help, returns, refunds. So, these are the things where people are not actively looking for, but whenever someone is troubled, they'll just go outrightly on the footer and see if you have one. Because if you're buying an expensive product, I would like to know how I will return it. Because in UK, I've seen it that even if I have to return a smallest thing, I have to pay shipping on that. And I don't want to do that when I'm doing an expensive product. So that's what happens when you don't put it in the FAQs and the returns and refund section.
I have scars to show for it. I have this machine that I ordered under Amazon Prime, and now I'm being told that I'm to pay shipping. It's a $22 machine, and I'm probably going to end up paying the same amount of shipping, so I'm just keeping it. So, yes, the reason being, whether you like it or not, or whether you know it or not, at least the shipping and returns option is critically important at that level of the support side.
Right.
You know why? Because when you're placing an order, they want to know what your return policies are. Amazon, you're clear. There's a Prime icon. You know that you can return it, no questions asked. But in your case, what is it? So please be
30
sure
day,
to
90
include that
day.
support option. Exactly. And last but not the least is your legal framework, copyright, terms of service, privacy policy, etc. Lump them in a legal section somewhere. Not a lot of people like to look at it, but and it's not about conversion optimization. It's about eliminating clutter from the rest of the four
Yes.
categories, because those are important for business. So this should never be part of those four. Move it out, and then all of a sudden you have a clean four category structure. You can have these five or the legal stuff as the footer, as a
Yeah, the
horizontal footer
bottom footer, the
at the bottom.
copyright.
Exactly, so that you have at least these four categories there, which is support, work with us, shop, and company, and that's good enough for business.
Right. So that completes 23. We know we
That's
like
a
jumped a few one, but we completed 23 and I'm really happy about it.
that's a wrap. So we basically have done 23 biggest mistakes, most important but most common mistakes we see DTC founders make. Which ones have we
Yes.
missed? Which ones have you struggled with? Kindly let us know in the comments. And if you have questions, comments, etc., you know where to find us. And yes, we thank you
We'll
so
be at
much
your
for the
service.
love and support. And we definitely look forward to more feedback, more comments, and take it from there. Have a
And
good
we
one.
will try to be consistent now. Okay, so
Last but
bye.
not the least, wherever you're listening, Spotify, YouTube, Audible, I don't know, FM, player, wherever you are, please be sure to subscribe and forward it to a friend if you like it. If you think they can benefit from it, send it to them. Show us some love. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.